welcome back. Is it you? Is it you? Is it me? That's me. That's you. That's Matej. This is Matthias. And welcome back to the MCQ. I mean, it's been a long day already, but still more magic to be shown. Plenty of more rounds. This is actually round 7. So kind of like elimination matches for a lot of our players. The matches we chose, actually both players had 5 wins and 1 loss because we believe that they have to play out. Because of so many players here, they will need 7 wins and 1 loss to make it in top 8.
Exactly. If we look at the top of the standings with 3 people at 18 points, probably we predict that table 1, both on 18 points, will draw.
It's kind of risky. We're trying to figure out if it can happen, but it's a little risky. They might do it, but we know that table 2, which is the table of the undefeated, but a 6-0 facing off against the 5-0-1 player, so they will also have to play. But the winner of that match will very likely make the top 8 anyway.
So exciting last 2 rounds here, and we're gonna jump into the game, I think.
Yes, let's see it. There we go. So Markus Spoerk on the left, a local player that also has some Pro Tour experience and GP experience. I think he top 8 at the GP or something similar not too long ago. And he's on a Junt Deathwhirler, so a Junt deck. So basically Gruul deck splashing for a little bit of black.
Yep, haven't seen that today at all, so...
No, it's actually not been present much anywhere. And looks like his opponent is going to be some sort of Sultai deck. Let's try for Sultai mid-range. That's my wild guess. We don't know Frederik,
Niederkircher, exactly.
Starts off with the Merfolk Branchwalker, hits a land, and now
Chainwhirler.
The big chain daddy. It is the perfect when you see your opponent play Branchwalker.
And you're like, land,
please. I think in the previous standard formats that actually people have been complaining quite a bit about the fact how really highly... how variants the explored creatures really are, because of especially decisions like this. Sometimes the Chainwhirler is insane against it, and sometimes it's just like average.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, if the explored creature would have been a 3/2.
Okay, I'm changing my deck.
So we're predicting 4-color Dreadhorde now.
Yes, it's hardly surprising. It's been at the top of the standings for a while now. So. The Teferi Time Reveler comes down. Probably gonna bounce the Chainwhirler. There we go. Actually, Chainwhirler at least gets to kill it right away when it comes down. So yeah, but Interplanar Beacon is gonna gain some life for Frederik here.
I'm just gonna make sure how that works exactly. Also some color fixing there.
Yep.
And a shock. I can see a Domri in Markus's hand.
Ooh, nice.
And I think it's an unclaimed territory.
Yeah, he has decision to do. I mean, he could replay the Chainwhirler, swing for 2. He could also play the Domri plus if he has anything else to play. Domri is actually quite good by the way it just pumps up your creatures. Like the static ability is actually quite nice especially if you're ahead on board.
The 3-mana Planeswalkers in all kinds of colors having a huge impact on the standard format. So it's really nice to see. I was kind of afraid that War of the Sparks with so many Planeswalkers would fall kind of under the radar because of these aggressive decks. But I think they managed quite well to design 3-mana Planeswalkers that do have an impact.
Sure.
I mean, you could discuss if Teferi is a bit oppressive. He's getting played that much at the moment, but...
it should be okay, and as you can see, Teferi now in check with a Chainwhirler here. Maybe one more repeat. One more try with Frederik, who hasn't actually played much here, and looks like Markus is firmly on the front foot, especially with Shock and the Domri in hand.
Yeah, the one Chainwhirler was able to manage all of the cards of Frederik so far.
Yeah, Vraska is actually quite decent here because it can actually kill the Chainwhirler.
Yeah.
And but if Markus has an untapped line, he could also go for nice lines that involve processing Domri and using the Growth Chamber Guardian to find a buddy of his own. That's why Frederik goes and kills the Growth Chamber Guardian rather than the Goblin Chainwhirler. That's why. Now, Shock on the Vraska. And we'll see what else is going to come from Markus.
You could also see Markus very carefully reading. Every card is not entirely sure what it does. A lot of Planeswalkers in the current standard format, a lot of abilities, and he wants to make sure that he knows every little small detail.
Yeah, so first we're going to get Domri. He's Markus has drawn quite a few lands, but now he's going to Domri.
There's a Spellbreak in hand, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now he's going to play Spellbreaker and swing for 8, because remember Domri passes all your guys.
And this already represents lethal for next turn, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's going to be tap down.
Lands should be tapped.
Yes,
Yeah,
there we go. Yeah. So Frederik Niederkircher here is going down to 8 here already. Oh.
Do we miss something?
I think the static works, right? I mean,
it should creatures get you control
yeah,
get +1/+0. Yeah.
Did you forget about that, or?
I think it's not a thing you can forget about, right?
Yeah. Now they're like
yeah.
doing the math, and like maybe there's some discrepancy with life tool. I think maybe they forgot to write down the one life gain off of the Vraska or something. So maybe they're discussing like, oh, you should be at that or you should be at that. So it's it seems like it's just a miscommunication issue, and they fix it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All
they
right.
come to the same conclusion,
which is great. And yeah, Markus not much left in his hand though, so he's probably hoping that this is going to be enough. It's nice when you have a dominant play, you already know that you have wait for creatures to fight each other. Bond of Flourishing, that's going to gain some life back.
And again, Markus wants to make sure he absolutely understands the card, knows what it's doing.
It's a top 3. I think we found a Wildgrowth Walker, which is not great against Domri if you're not following it up immediately with an Explore creature.
I think I saw an Assassin's Trophy in Frederik's hand, so he has the possibility to get rid of either of Markus's permanents.
Yeah, so Frederik up to 11 here. So let's see what else he's going to do with all the mana. 2 Assassin's Trophy. There's one thing that Markus does not need, it's lands, that's for sure.
Yeah, with another one in hand, he has plenty.
Yeah, maybe I think I saw Direfleet Daredevil among his cards.
Yeah.
He plays 3. He could play, if he draws 1, he could play it and cast the Bond of Flourishing, dig for another creature. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
He has 4 Rekindling Phoenix and 2 Skargan Hellkite. Those would be really good right now. Even though he's still ahead on board, he still has turn 2 clock. I think he found...
It's a split card, right?
It is a split card, so that means that it is for sure Status Statue. He doesn't have any... He has 1 Collision Colossus in his sideboard, but Status Statue in his hand means that he can use the combo with the Chain Whirler, or if he draws a Black Source, he can actually cast the statue part.
I think Markus also would really like to see a Growth Chamber Garden at this point.
Yeah, for sure. There's
play 1, grow it. Oh, not a Bond of Flourishing.
Then finds another land or maybe a Wildgrowth Walker this time around. But now creatures are much safer on the battlefield than before because the Domri is dead already.
Finds a land.
Maybe he's the commanded Dreadhorde, but it's quite poor because he's low on life. But he might want to just work his way up towards something else. Jadelight Ranger, okay.
He's certainly on 1 land. Another land would be brutal. No, finds a removal spell. That's huge.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
He can now block the Spellbreaker, kill it, and next turn has a removal spell for the Chain Whirler. So.
Yeah, I mean, in an ideal scenario, that's how it will work. We'll see if Markus has something to say about that. Domri. I think it's lethal. I think it's lethal because he can play Domri plus his plus his Chain Whirler up to a 5/4, and then minus Domri to fight the Jadelight and swing for lethal. So I think he has lethal. He just has to figure it out here. His opponent is tapped out, and we'll see if he finds it. That makes both his creatures 4 power. But if he wants to fight, remember the Jadelight is a 3/2. But if he doesn't forget about the +1/+1 that status grants, then he should win. I think
he's holding it in hand.
I think he's now figured it out. Yeah, so Rule Spellbreaker is even better to pump because it has act proof. Fight. Yeah, it's like, what is this again?
What is this? First time Frederik has to read the cards.
Yeah, he actually read the Domri before.
Okay,
but then he kills that, fights that, and swing
and
for 9.
8. Yeah, 9 actually. Yeah.
Thanks to the status. And he's like, Yeah, and
All
that's
right.
it. All right. So Markus Spoerk wins game 1 over Frederik Niederkircher. That was a timely set of draws here. That was his last Domri, by the way.
Really?
He only plays
Well,
two.
you only need 2 if you win after
Yeah,
you
to be
cast the second one.
Yeah, to be fair, like he was in a decent spot. He could have also drawn maybe like a shock, lightning strike to clear the way, or a Skargan
Skargan Hellkite would have been huge as well. So
would have also been game breaking there. So yeah, it was a good job from Markus Spoerk in game 1. We'll update the game scores.
So Chunt, Deathwhirler, Dead Goblin Chainwhirler really doing his job, killing not only a creature but coming down again
Yeah.
to kill the Planeswalker.
All right. So Frederik now on the back foot. Let's see what his sideboard can offer. I mean, it looks like Finale of Eternity, Ritual of Soot, Thrashing Brontodon, Cast Down. All these cards seem like I want to have them in my deck after sideboard. Just so I can deal with the oppressive starts from opponent. Actually, Frederik Niederkircher is playing a list that we already saw in the feature match area. The 4 called
One
Dreadhorde with one
Mordigo,
more Mordigo. We saw it in the earlier rounds, so maybe him and his friends are playing the same version of this deck. But he also has the Massacre Girls main deck.
Also, too, I think this might be the exact same list.
Yeah, it looks that way. So he's probably going to board out some of his stuff. Maybe the Teferis didn't look particularly impressive.
No, especially if you bounce like a Chainwhirler like we saw.
Yeah, the Commander Dreadhordes are not that great if you're playing from behind. They're pretty good if you've stalled out the board at a comfortable life total, but I don't think you'll want to go that way after Cyber. Maybe one.
Maybe 1 or 2. Like
Yeah.
he can regrow it with Tamio. So
Exactly. Yeah. So if he really needs it, so I think he just should go on a really controlling plan with a Wild Growth Walker Explore package and just a bunch of removal to try to hold on, and then milk his all his Planeswalkers for long game card advantage. On what's going on Marcus's side?
Marcus has 4 Cindervines in the sideboard. Don't think those are
No.
coming in this matchup. 1 Collision Colossus. You mentioned that already.
I like that card. If you're if you want to be attacking, it's kind of worse if your opponent just is on a plan to kill all your guys.
Yeah,
That's what makes it worse.
can be huge if you cast it on Goblin Chainwhirler. The first strike, but
Sure, but even then, it's probably not great. And Lava Coil, I think so.
yeah, you can remove Wild Growth Walkers even if they've explored once. You get to exile the cards, which I assume Marcus
Can be
already figured
relevant.
out that Frederik is on Dreadhorde.
Yeah, I like Legion of Warboss as well, even though it's not great against the Explore package, but it's pretty good if your opponent is only on Planeswalkers.
Yeah, he does
And-
have 1 Sorcerer Spyglass.
Sure.
I would assume that he's bringing that one in.
Yeah.
1 additional shock that's interesting in the sideboard.
I would definitely board in also 2 Vivian Reeds.
Yeah,
The-
matchup will definitely go longer.
Yeah, exactly, because you want to just milk the card advantage and possibly work your way up towards the ultimate there, which is basically unbeatable for the other deck unless they're already winning. So I think boarding out something like Shocks and the Harpooners also don't look particularly appealing.
No
apart from
flyers, just a 3/2. So
yeah, exactly. So possibly some of these can go out. Maybe even the Status Statue. I mean,
yeah, although I would love to see the combo with the Chainwhirler.
it's nice. I played it a bit in the previous standard, and whenever it happened, it just felt so good. Especially when your opponent, like Celestia tokens, plays everything. He's just like,
And then it's like, yeah, I got the Trostani. My guys are big enough. They don't die, and you're like, ah, death
Exactly.
touch.
Yeah, so Frederik Niederkircher up against it here. Remember, this is basically elimination matches, so we believe players need 7 wins and 1 loss to make it into the top 8, and if you lose this one, you're only playing for top 16 prizes, so...
Which is good, but it's not what you came here for.
Exactly, yeah. The first place, of course, invitation to play in the Mythic Championship Barcelona. That's towards the end of April in the modern format.
With a lot of new additions from Modern Horizon.
And War of the Spark.
And War of the Sparks, yeah, it's a crazy format. Both Standard and Modern looking very interesting right now.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Modern Horizons coming to the format in, I think, 2 weeks, is it from now? So
Yeah.
we're going to see a shake-up there as well.
Oh, it already has been shaken up by the new cards from War of the Spark. Karn, the great creator, seems to be everywhere.
Yeah, Mucus and Lattice cards in the shop were only sold to like kitchen table Magic players, and all of a sudden
Yeah,
it's a tournament staple card.
everyone wants it. Yeah, I like that it has found its way into so many different archetypes, but not standard just yet. I mean, without Mickelson Leathers and
Yeah.
Staring Bridge and Pithing Needle, it's not as good. But
I've seen some people using Karn to get a Silent Gravestone out
okay,
of the sideboard to fight the Dreadhorde deck, so
interesting.
that could be a possibility.
Yeah, looks like both players have plenty of lands, so it seems like this will make for a decent game. Markus has kept his shocks there, and it's going to take 2.
Is
No land well-offs, though.
I think it's just passing the turn.
His hand
Get
doesn't
rid
look
of-
that great. A little slow there. I think I saw a Shock Lightning Strike, so at least he can interact with some of the early creatures if they come down. Maybe something like a Branch Walker. Oh, Walker Walker. Can't shock that. I mean, you can, but you don't want to. So I think a Lightning Strike is going to take care of that.
You can double shock
Pronto.
it now.
He could. Could. I don't think he will want to. All right, there's the Lightning Strike on the Walker Walker. But I think Frederik is going to be decently happy with that. Yeah, he
Draw the
finds a
cards.
breeding pool, plays it right away. Still has the beacon in his hand, so he should be able to cast anything that he wants. Let's see if Markus has.
The Chain
Chain
Whirler? I
Whirler?
don't think he does.
It would be great if he did. He might have a Goblin Spellbreaker.
Yeah,
See,
he
it is
does.
a Spellbreaker. Haste? No haste. 4/4.
I actually very rarely see him coming down as a 3/3 haste. Usually the 4/4 is where you want to be at, especially against the Explore package, where either the Branch Walker or the Jadelight Ranger can take him down not that much easier if he's a 3/3.
There's the
And
Bond of Flourishing. Again, digging for a card. I think he found a Jadelight Ranger.
Yeah.
Which is going to allow him to either put some lands in the hand or draw into some good cards.
Yeah.
This package is good. I like Bond of Flourishing. It's a decent card, and I like it in this deck.
Yeah, if you take a look at the cards Frederik has played so far, everything great against mono reds.
True.
The life gain, very relevant there.
We might see a hasty Spellbreaker now together with a shock. If I spotted the cards in Markus's hand correctly.
And he might even have a dragon for the next turn.
Ooh.
That
Haste Army.
can deliver quite the beating. So we'll see what his plan is. Might even just go for the haste creature and not even play the shock and keep it up for Jadelight Ranger next turn.
Sure, possible.
For
Yeah,
the trigger.
I like that plan as well. Now that you said it, it's a big swing for 7. Niederkircher down to 16 here. Let's see what he follows up with, because this is a big turn for him. He's going to be up to 5 mana potentially. Maybe if he has Wildgrove Walker plus Jadelight Ranger, he's in great shape.
Yeah, I was just about to say the removal from Markus on the Jadelight Ranger on the Wildgrove Walker has been huge this game.
Absolutely. So Jadelight Ranger first. All right. In response,
To
shock
the
it.
trigger, shock it. Yeah.
Good planning from Markus. Okay, Branch Walker probably not something he wants. I assume Frederik has a bunch of lands because I saw Interplanar Beacon in his opening hand.
This is not going to do anything either.
No, and I still think he has a couple more lands in his hand. I also see
Interplanar
another Jadelight.
Interplanar Beacon and Isolated Chapel.
Yeah,
And you spotted the Jadelight, so
indeed.
full on explore plan.
Yeah, swing back for 2. Frederik's not scared. Doesn't want to be blocking here. Okay, there's the beacon. And a pass? And a pass. So, decision time for Markus. I think he might have the 5th land. At least if he hadn't before, he does have now. But he's
And
going to
there
go for
it
the
is.
Hellkite. Boom. That's a swing for 11. And he still also has shock in his hand.
Exactly. Wow, this is huge. Down to 5 with 4 damage in hand.
So yeah.
A flyer.
No,
2
just
damage.
with one
Yeah,
shock.
he of course played the shock.
Yeah, but now this makes Dreadhorde terrible, and Frederik needs just like a sweep or like a Wrath. Finale of Eternity, could that work? Yeah, that could kill
that
all of
could
them.
Kill all of them. He's totally on the mid-range plan with all this explore stuff, and
He's
Markus is just
attacking?
like beat down.
He's attacking.
He's attacking, wow.
What does that mean? Wildgrove Walker? What is it? The finale? Oh, it's
Liliana.
Liliana. Okay, minus that.
That's
but
not going to be enough.
Yeah, that's gonna be. This game's over. This game way over. Yeah.
Okay.
each player's second phase is
Just make sure.
I like that. Markus is really being I think he's learned from the past. Yep, these guys go away, and I'm just gonna attack and kill you. Markus probably is gonna move up to 6 and 1 after this. Ooh, another dragon.
Yeah, okay.
Boom. There we
Here you go.
And now I see why he's doing so well in this tournament. This deck seems really punishing. If you can't keep up, Like it's gonna bury you in massive creatures that are also hasty. And we talked about this at the start of the day. Haste seems very good against planeswalkers.
And apparently not only against planeswalkers, also against players. So he did kick Frederik.
That was fast. That was very fast.
Very fast.
We have a backup match at the other table. It's actually, I think, Nicola Palmier. No, it's Ricardo Caetano da Silva.
Exactly.
And he's playing against Francisc Loghin. I think I pronounced this correctly. No idea.
Hopefully. We'll take a look at
what do
the
you
lists. I have Florian Christian.
I have Ricardo Silva here.
And I can see Shadelight Rangers, Merkfolk Branchwalkers, and Wildgrowth Walkers.
Okay.
And Commander Dreadhordes.
And Bond the Flourishing. And 2 Massacre Girl.
Yeah. So.
But no Unmoored Ego in
no
this
Unmoored Ego.
But a Mastermind's Acquisition.
Wow.
Spicy.
Wow.
I can dig it.
And the 1 Unmoored Ego in the sideboard. So.
Of course. But also can dig for Elder Spell in the sideboard and stuff like that. I liked it. Ricardo Caetano da Silva. It just wrote Ricardo Silva and on his deck sheet. He's on traditional Jeskai Super Friends. Nothing really spectacular here. The usual. Okay, let's write it down. All right. So on the right side is going to be Ricardo Silva, 5-1. That works. Okay. He's on Jeskai Super Friends. Jeskai Super Friends.
So we'll jump.
Yep. We're gonna try to change it. And on the left side we have Francisc. Loghin, right? Or however else you want to pronounce it. Okay, and he's playing 4-color Dreadhorde.
It's 4-color Dreadhorde, yeah.
This deck has been really popular. Almost has been everywhere. We don't know what the game score is, but they're shuffling. So we'll figure it out. We'll ask
Patrick.
Game score, Patrick? Okay, so we have to change.
Ricardo.
So let me add like this, then we. All right, and let's Ricardo 1-0. So. All right, so it should be correct. Everything should be set up, and we're gonna get good into nice game 2, maybe game 3.
Hopefully game 3. I want to see more magic.
You're insatiable. You have so much content to watch, and yet you want to see more magic.
Of
Jeez.
course, there's never enough magic.
Yeah, I love watching magic. It's just like, if I could be paid to watch magic, I would be very happy.
Yeah, I would take that job too, probably.
Yeah. That's why I enjoyed my job on coverage tremendously. It's like, you get paid to come in for 2 days, and you sit at a table, and you watch some magic, and you talk over it. It's like...
It's awesome.
It's
really awesome.
It's really nice.
It's also great to have you here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You've been a great help.
Thanks a lot. So, starting hands. What do we have here?
Is he showing us? How nice of him. I think he had Wildgrowth Walker into a Jadelight Ranger. Might even have Duress to kick things off. That's like the god draw. Yeah,
that's very nice of him. He shows us his hand and the hand of the opponent. So
yeah, exactly. We don't have to do any more guessing. So Narset Shock, Dovin's Veto, and a bunch of lands.
With, again, of course, the mobilized district.
Of course.
And Narset hits the bin.
Mm-hmm.
So, bit of interaction left for Ricardo, but if he does have Wildgrowth Walker into an Explorer creature, then Ricardo could be in a bit of trouble here.
Mm-hmm. I guess he wants to play the Shark turn too, but I would have played Howl Fountain into Sulphur Falls there.
All right.
So there's the Walker. No.
Yes. It's a Wildgrowth Walker.
No, it's a Branch Walker.
Yeah, it's a Branch Walker. Does not hit a spell, hits a land.
Takes 2 here to keep up Dovid's Veto. Or Shock. Yeah, I like that he's keeping his mana up. Thank you. That's a nice mana base there from Loghin, Francisc.
Yeah, we actually had the wrong deck list, but apparently Patrick brought us the correct one, which is 75 cards identical.
To the one he brought.
To the one that he brought, yeah.
Yeah, because there's actually maybe his brother, who is called Florian Christian Loghin, but this is Francisc.
Francis, yeah. So they're probably playing the same deck.
Yeah, I have to ask him like if they're brothers and where they're from, because that's pretty crazy. I think he's Austrian. I think next to his name it said Austria, even though it's not a traditional Austrian name.
Yeah.
Both are Austrian actually. Ricardo Silva is also Austrian. Okay. Why not? We live in EU.
Yeah.
These things are possible. And we kind of forgot about what was going on the board. But Wildger Walker, Jade Light
getting
Ranger.
shocked now.
Yeah, this is getting shocked in response to. Yeah. Okay, Assassin's Trophy. That's a decent card to have, but doesn't want it.
It doesn't really need it.
Yeah,
There's no pressure from Ricardo at the moment.
Isolated Chapel. And there's the Wildger Walker is already a 3/5, and also. The chapel actually should come into play untapped because
the
Temple Garden.
The temple.
Yeah.
Don't think it's...
the breeding pool doesn't work with Isolate Chapel, but
the other lands do. That's why I put it at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean like it's Ricardo still has that Dovin's Veto that Francis knows about, but I think he just has a Healy in his hand.
Yeah,
and maybe Sarkhan.
I think it's a Sarkhan. Yeah, I spotted the red card. Should be Sarkhan. Yeah.
It doesn't look that great. Ricardo under a lot of pressure here from those two creatures already.
Yeah, he can't cast a 5-mana Planeswalker, obviously, and the 3-mana Planeswalker not providing a token at this point, so...
Yep, so there's another Wildger Walker and another Merfolk Branchwalker.
He's just sticking to the creature plan.
Dovin's Veto?
Yeah, what's that?
What does that card do? I don't care about that at all.
So far, all it has achieved is that Ricardo took 2 damage because he played his land untapped, so... That's working out for Francis. Explore. Put some counters here and there. And get into the red zone.
Yeah, down to 8. Ricardo still under a lot of pressure here to deal with the board. He got the veto to maybe counter some big non-creature spells, but unfortunately...
There's none to be had. And now with the fairy on top of the library... well,
the Sarkhan looks really poor here against that. Yeah, and he just packs it up, and you're gonna get the game 3 that you wanted. So, very good explore start from Francis Loghin, and he's gonna try to clinch that 6th win in the final game of this particular match, and because the winner is going to be like 1 match away from a top 8. It's really tight at the top of the standings, as we talked about previously.
Yeah, we assume that table 1 draws, and then next round maybe one table can draw as well. So we will of course bring you some elimination matches next round.
All right, so one game apiece, and Ricardo reconsidering. Took out a shock.
Yeah, it was a shock, right? Yeah.
That doesn't kill Wildger Walker.
The 1/3 killed me. Shock doesn't do anything.
Well, let's see. I mean, we saw already some indication of what the players are bringing in. So, Dovin's Veto was brought in. Didn't look very good.
Didn't look good, no.
But I wonder if maybe instead of like when he took out Shock, maybe he brought in the Deafening Clarion, Ricardo. It's also better on the play because if your opponent goes turn 2 Wildger Walker, you can play Clarion and kill it right away if you need it. So
it can be kind of an awkward card.
I don't like Wildger Walker that much in this matchup, by the way.
Yeah,
but
sometimes it's just a 1/3, and that's not where you want to be at.
Exactly, and even if you grow it, if it gets bounced by Teferi, it's just like you have to start from scratch. It's not great. On the other hand, it's really good if your opponent thinks that you're going to be bringing in, lots of non-creature spells, then you just like run it out.
Yeah, and then you have Dovin's Veto.
Yep.
That doesn't do anything. Also, of course, the life gain can be relevant if you manage to resolve a huge Dreadhorde.
Exactly.
So, game 3 coming up in a second.
Yeah, hopefully you've been enjoying the Magic. I've been keeping an eye out on our bitrate throughout this round, and it's been very good. Whereas before we had like spikes where we went down to 0, and you were losing our stream. So hopefully Hopefully, yeah, you are enjoying it as much as we are, because this day has been great. It would have been even better if we didn't have those technical issues that we mentioned, but we're gonna solve them
Yeah,
for sure once we move back to
100%. Exactly.
Yeah, you have gigabit internet in the store.
Yeah, we will get the best internet so we can watch it without delay, without any problems.
Yeah, with no sync issues, with nothing. So, and with nice, hopefully even less glare than has been the case here. We'll see about that. Patrick's not very confident. Yeah, depends on the sleeves. Okay, that's fair.
Okay, so we'll see if the Spielraum sleeves are good enough and there is no glare, but
Yeah, during GP coverage, it's like when we first started and we were fighting glare, we kept buying umbrellas and trying to
really,
like place them over like the main light sources without impacting the visibility of the cards. And
yeah,
it was very difficult.
that sounds very
because like
difficult,
you
yeah.
have to play around with all the angles of light coming onto the board. Fortunately, you have a static camera, so it doesn't move at least. So at least it was possible to figure out. But our technician there was quite good actually at figuring things out, and we usually managed to avoid some glare sometimes. But I know it from traveling to so many sites that sometimes you have a site with like really weird windows and the sun is coming down at the exact spot where it hits the feature match area.
And then there's nothing you
There's
can
nothing you can do for like half an hour.
So we're trying to tell you the cards as we see them to hopefully manage if some cards are not visible to you viewers. I can see 2 lands in the hand of Francis, and it looks like Ricardo has kept as well.
Yeah, Ricardo has a spell pierce, a deafening clarion, so he can
You talked about that.
he can cover creatures and non-creature spells at the same time. We'll see if he he also has an opt that he can start going here. There's the Wild Growth Walker. Hidden under glare, but he's gonna opt here. Try to dig and maybe Clarion on his turn just to make sure that he's going to be able to kill that. Ideally, he would like the Teferi, Time Reveler, just to get on the board real fast.
Doesn't look like it's on top though, because I think that would have been a snap keep, right?
Yeah, he goes on the bottom.
Finds another land.
All right.
And the way he drew his card, I think he was like, "Come on,
come on, Teferi." It would have been great here because he would have gained a life, drawn a card, bound the Wild Growth Walker, could have developed this board as well. But he might just have to definitely clear in here. He also has a Karn as a follow-up, which is quite good.
He also has Narset in hand, could go for that, but decides.
Yep, Clarion to clear away the Wild Growth Walker, and then I assume the Karn is going to come down next turn. Or alternatively, he could go for Narset and keep up Spell Pierce mana.
I think Francis does have 4-mana Planeswalker in his hand in form of... he actually has both Tameo and Vraska, if I'm correct.
Ooh.
Patrick is...
Was that magic? Was that you, Patrick? All right, so we eliminated the glare, but Teferi Time Reveler came down, and now now it's a decision time for Ricardo. He could play. I think he should just play the Karn because he could play Narset, but he can't really leave up the Spell Pierce mana because Teferi just makes it pointless. Maybe he's thinking that he wants to make a construct.
Probably.
Yeah, it looks that way. No, he's going upstairs. At this point, I always like it when players go Karn minus. Like, yeah, aggressive. I like it.
Remove 2 cards.
Ooh, both are
Interesting.
nice.
Interesting.
Okay,
although with, as you already pointed out, with the Teferi on board, the Spell Pierce.
Not great.
Sadly irrelevant, yeah.
Yeah.
The Sarkhan, though.
The battlefield looks really nice now with no glare. Patrick, you're a magician.
Okay.
Yeah, Sarkhan's quite good here. I mean, you can start threatening on the following turn. This is exactly the start that the Jeskai Superfriends deck wants. Like, not have to play from behind, but being able to play on the front foot a little bit there. And okay.
He actually.
Interesting.
Is he running maybe the Res or something? Wants to get rid of the Sarkhan right away.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe. Takes 2 here. Maybe Vraska? No. Tameo.
Tameo. Interesting choice.
if but Ricardo here like pluses. I guess the Sarkin and pluses. Okay, we don't know what he named. Not Walker.
Probably not White Walker.
No, I'm pretty sure he did not name Walker Walker here. Maybe like Assassin's Trophy, or maybe Duress.
Maybe Elder Spell.
Maybe Elder Spell, yeah. I mean, does he have after sideboards too?
He has 2 after sideboards.
Sure.
None in the main deck.
Maybe he has one already in his hand, and he's just like baiting Ricardo to play into it.
That's of course a possibility. Well,
yeah, Hollow Fountain's gonna go into Ricardo's hand, I believe. No. Okay. Yes,
okay. Don't want to give him the second red. I mean, he does have the Interplanar Beacon, but
it doesn't really matter. Yeah. I think it also Francis did not plus his Teferi on his turn.
Really? Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Good
not
point.
sure if it's going to matter, but it's still pretty important to keep in mind that you should be plussing, because at some point you might need to use the minus again. But now decisions. He could play Sarkin and use the plus to attack something there. Changes his mind again.
So what's the plan?
Yeah, what is the plan, Ricardo Silva? Please tell me.
I mean, he has Narset and Spell Pierce as his and Deafening Clarion as his other cards. They don't seem particularly great here. Okay. Maybe he thought he could go for Narset and then have his Sarkin for the next turn, so he can swing at both Planeswalkers, but I don't think that is a particular great plan.
I think at this point he might. If I was Ricardo, I would strongly think about attacking the Teferi so that I could unlock my Spell Pierce.
Yeah.
There we go.
Plus, there's no like single great card in his graveyard yet. Although by killing the Teferi, he can regrow it. But
yeah, but it doesn't really impact the board again. And he would spend 3 mana to draw a card. So I actually don't. Okay, he does attack the Tamio though.
Okay, interesting.
Fair enough. I don't mind it either, but we'll see. He probably has a plan, and that plan might be like a big Elder Spell or something similar. Wouldn't be surprised.
So I think Francis is gonna use Tamio first, right? To get as much information as possible.
I think so. He can't minus it. He can definitely plus it.
I think he just consulted his sideboard, whether he has specific cards in the main deck, in his deck, or
yeah, he might have a Mastermind's Acquisition in hand, for all you know. Okay, you don't know what he said, but it's like very dramatic the way he
reveals them.
Yeah,
3 lands again.
He's showing us like, look, this is how bad they are.
So no Teferi named, at least not Hero of Dominaria. Let's see. Does he have the Elder Spell? Because
okay, it looks that way, right?
I mean, the way he's playing it certainly indicates that he has something.
I mean, there's also the plays that we saw with like the big Teferi, right? Plus small Teferi, play big Teferi, untap 2 lands, okay. But Jadelight Ranger first. Benchwalker, probably not.
Bin that one.
Interplanar Beacon's fine.
Oh yeah, there it is. I saw it. He has the Elder Spell, yeah.
So he's just slow rolling the Elder Spell. Well, let's see if he doesn't get punished for trying to play this cute.
He didn't plus his Teferi again, right?
Yeah, he forgot again.
But isn't that exactly what he's trying to set up right now? Like plussing his Teferi and then Elder Spelling?
Maybe.
Or is it maybe I'm mistaken, it's a Commander Dreadhorde, but either way.
I mean, the arts are quite similar.
Yeah, there's this purple spark thingy.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, so there's the Narset. Right. What's it gonna be? Okay, Dovin's Veto. That can be good if the Teferi's dead. Otherwise, it's doesn't do really much.
Yeah.
But if he, I mean, it looks like almost all of his Planeswalkers just do. What's going on here? -1, grab the Mox.
Taking a long time.
Yeah. Okay, no, he makes a construct.
It's a
Okay,
construct
I like
token.
that because he's trying to find a way to protect his planeswalkers. Because now, if he attacks with Sarkhan and the Karn, the Jade Light Ranger would then be able to attack maybe the Narset. He
Mhm.
doesn't. He probably figures that Francis does not have the Elder Spell, and he would probably
Yeah.
played it already. But what he doesn't know, he's just like sandbagging. There's the construct. Yeah, it's not that one. This is a servo, but we'll treat it as the construct it is. Also plays an untapped Howl Fountain down to 19.
I mean, he could activate his. Okay, yeah, he's
Yeah,
pressuring the planeswalkers now.
yeah. I think it's Command the Dreadhorde. I don't think it's an Elder Spell.
Yeah.
You were giving me hope about cool plays.
But unfortunately,
Yeah. And unfortunately, ended it with so much disappointment. But now, if this attack resolves as is, then I think Francis is in a lot of trouble because he then has to face off against Dovin's Veto and Spell Pierce.
yeah, all of a sudden, all the great cards in Ricardo's hand are unlocked.
Yeah, exactly, and he has such a big board advantage that it will be very difficult for Ricardo to get punished. He also has he can swing for 12 on the next turn, right? Or 13 with the construct as well.
What did he just? I think now
He-
this
he-
is the Elder Spell, right? Now he
That
draws.
is, he did draw it now. Yes, correct.
I'm
but-
not mistaken this
But
time.
he does know about the Domin's Veto. I mean, it came from the Narset, so it should hardly be a surprise. Maybe he's going to try to bait it out.
Oh, he's
Okay,
not a.
So that's going to get vetoed. It has to be, because otherwise Ricardo again is locked out. And
Yeah, it's
so-
gonna casting the veto now. Then Francis is gonna go for the Elder Spell, and Spell Pierce is gonna foil that plan.
we'll see if it's going to happen. Francis could wait one more turn, or he did play a land already, I think. So he can't play around it by playing the fourth land and playing Elder Spell with some mana backup. And also, I think he should go for it now, just so he could potentially Dreadhorde next turn.
The thing is, Ricardo paid 2 life to play a land untapped, right? So he
Ooh.
should know there's something
Boom!
up. Okay.
Spell
yeah.
Pierce. Goodbye, goodbye, Elder Spell. Yeah, that's gonna get chump blocked. It's the crowd is liking it.
Yeah.
We have a small crowd gathered near the feature match area with the monitor from that. And here comes Narset. And one more Dovin's Veto, and this is over. You don't have to show though.
He wants to reveal the cards.
It's not a Spell Pierce. At least that can counter Command the Dreadhorde, even though I don't think it's going to be relevant now because of a huge swing incoming from the side of Ricardo Silva. I suspect so many cards in Ricardo's hand as well. He has another veto, by the way, and a
Wow.
Spell Pierce, so I think he's
All the
in
backup he
great,
needs.
yeah, he's in great shape. He could also create another construct to have another blocker for the Jade Light Ranger if he wants to keep protecting his planeswalkers, and now he can swing for 12 with the Sarkhan Plus. Yep,
Yeah, looks like that's the play.
that's the play. That's the plan.
Not a lot Francis can do about it. Has to fight through Dovin's Veto and Spell Pierce.
It's very difficult. All right, so swing, swing, swing. It wasn't that difficult, Ricardo, was it? Down to 6 there from Francisc.
Here we are.
So what now? Still more? Still not had enough? Okay,
He's
Narset.
playing another Narset.
Why not?
Yeah, of course.
Maybe look for a backup Sarkhan. Yeah, up to 20. Backup Sarkhan, if something were to happen to him, even though I think it's highly unlikely that anything could happen at this point. Another Clarion, an Opt.
Opt.
Yeah, works. It's a card.
In case he doesn't have to use the Spell Pierce.
Okay.
Still. Okay.
Takes 2
Pistol
more.
Life. Just to be sure.
It's like, yeah, might as well. Go ahead. Now Ricardo has Opt, Dovin's Veto, and Spell Pierce mana up.
And it's just a land for Francis.
Yeah,
That's not gonna do it.
yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
I know about the Spell Pierce, so these Command the Dreadhordes are not great. He could.
This is not Magic Arena where your opponent magically misclicks and your spell all of a sudden resolves. And even then,
Yeah.
there's nothing he could return at this point, I think.
No,
They would turn
no,
this game around.
it's just like this game has really not been good for him. He's fallen behind, I think, a little bit early when his Walker was killed, and then just really couldn't set up a proper board. Teferi Time Rebel just wasn't enough to get any sort of advantage on board, and then suddenly Ricardo started grinding him out with the Karn, then Sarkhan. So without ever creating a dragon.
Yeah, I mean he did invoke the dragons.
Yeah.
In his Planeswalker friends.
You're a dragon, you're a dragon, you're a dragon, and I'm a dragon.
And you take 4, and you take 4.
Yeah, so 4 mana.
Araska.
It's like, yeah, Ricardo's like, does this matter? Yeah, Spell Pierce.
Just to be sure there's nothing.
Yeah.
And
then
Dovin's Veto?
Yeah, Dovin's Veto to tap you out. And then he's gonna, show his hand.
There's the hand.
Handshake. And Ricardo Silva up to 6-1 here at the MCQ in Vienna. 1 win away from the top 8. No drawing in for him in the next round.
Just a straight win in the next round.
He has great tiebreakers. I saw the standings, and he's one of the better ones at 15 points, like middle of the pack. But unfortunately, nope. He's going to have to keep fighting for 1 more win. All right. That was a great round again. I mean, I think all the rounds have been really interesting Magic. And yeah, here we are back in the booth. I'm Matej, this is Matthias.
Hi.
He's been here all day helping us out. It was great. Great help. And you know your cards. You have your excitement.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Definitely the excitement.
I can help you with the rest. What you don't know, then I will know, and vice versa. All right. Not much time left in round, around 4 minutes still, so there's not going to be that many matches, I suspect. That means that we're going to take a small break and be back for the final elimination round 8.
Yeah.
So don't go anywhere. We're excited.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.